This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this Stock Box interview.
Joining us today is Jonathan Owen, the CEO of Metals One, listed today on the London Stock Exchange with the ticker MET1, with a market cap of approximately 10.4 million. Well, first of all, Jonathan, welcome onto Stockbox, the first time that we're talking here following your successful IPO. How does it feel, first of all, to get this IPO over the line?
Well, thank you, Mark. Very exciting. It's been a long time coming. It's been a challenging market, and to be one of only a handful of listings this year on AIM it's been quite a challenge, but a huge sense of achievement now. It underlines the value that we see in what we're looking to do.
Okay. Well, let's talk about what you're looking to do. The company's tagline is defining battery metal resources in Europe for Europe. So I wonder if you could start us off by perhaps giving us the high-level overview of the company, the elevator pitch, if you like.
Sure. No, you caught it in the strap line. Battery metals for Europe in Europe. The challenge that we all have, all regions have, particularly Europe, is we have a burgeoning EV electric vehicle market, and a deficit in the resources, the materials and minerals that go into feeding that. So we're looking to plug that gap with low carbon, low cost battery metals, high quality battery metals on the doorstep of our OEMs of the Volkswagens, Mercedes, Stellantis, etc. that operate in Europe. So it's all about minimizing carbon impact on EVs. It's about securing supply chains. So we're not looking to secure minerals from the Philippines, the other side of the planet. It's very much pushing and supporting that green transition.
And how important is it, would you say, for Europe to have its own supply of battery metals? Because, of course, at the moment, there's a lot of concern about where these materials are going to come from, because, of course, some perhaps unfriendly, at the moment anyway, countries have got a lot of stranglehold on some of these commodities.
Yeah, that's right. It's all about security of supply in that respect. And with the unfortunate invasion of Ukraine last year and the sanctions on Russia, we saw a significant removal of nickel sulfide supply, cobalt, etc., from the market. Created a lot of volatility. Meanwhile, we have potentially these assets, these minerals within the European sphere. So it's about this is the catalyst. This has been the catalyst to getting this done now to increase confidences in what we know lies under the ground and start to build a plan to extract it and feed the market.
Okay, excellent. Well, as part of your IPO, you raised approximately, was it £2.5 million there? The share price would be 5p on listing, and there are 1 to 2 warrants for people who participated at 9p. So let's talk about the projects then. Of course, you've got projects there in Finland, and you have attributed approximately 1.75 million of cash to go into this project. So first of all, just tell me a little bit about the project, and then we can get into the plans and the use of the funds there.
Okay, yeah. So in Finland, we have what we call the Black Schist Project. Black Schist is quite a large, homogeneous type of ore body, relatively straightforward to explore and develop, quite shallow lying. It's been known for some time, and just through perfect timing, really, when we acquired the options to acquire these assets a few years ago. That was when the interest was really starting to grow. Now, in terms of where they sit in the maturity curve of exploration assets, we have 3 licenses in this area, one of which already has a mineral resource estimate. So this is signed off by a competent person of 28 million tons of ore, which is quite significant. And then we have exploration targets or JORC-defined exploration targets in the other license areas. So the plan for us is to increase the confidence levels in those assets, which means basically increasing the the volumes, the tons of ore that we know about, and increasing and really nailing down what the grades are within those. For us, it's been hugely, or the asset itself is hugely de-risked by the fact that we have an operating mine next door, Talvivaara. Talvivaara is part owned by the Finnish government and Trafigura. This is Europe's largest, if not only, nickel producer, and it sits on basically the same ore body as us, and we have ground in the vicinity and adjacent to Talvivaara. So, again, back to my point about it being homogeneous, relatively straightforward ore body. The fact that next door, proving to extract and process and sell this material is gives us great confidence that we're going to be able to achieve similar.
Okay. So you've got 2 projects, haven't you, in Finland, and of course they're both nickel, zinc, copper, and cobalt. Just first of all, on black schist, what would be the initial plans there in terms of sort of exploration work?
Okay, so we have historical data and diamond cores that we have already in our possession. So it's a case of which we have then modelled the ore body using. So we need to increase the confidence levels of what exactly that ore body looks like, which means that we need to put some more drill holes in there, take some more samples, if you like. Airborne, magnetic and on-the-ground magnetic surveys need to be undertaken just to add more data into that model. So that elevates that 28.1 million tons resource estimate I spoke about earlier, and then also increase the volumes, which means stepping out beyond that ore body with, again, additional drill holes and just broadening the range that we're looking over. So that's the plan for the black schist. We speak of 2 projects. Really, we look at them as one because they're different tenements within the same geological region. They're both black schists, in fact. As I said before, one has that mineral resource estimate. The other is what they technically call a exploration target. So the plan there is, again, it's get more data, increase our confidence level, remodel, and ultimately bring that up from an exploration target up through the curve to a mineral resource estimate. That increases the value of that asset significantly through a relatively low amount of investment. So over the next 18 months, we're looking to obviously undertake the geotechnical work, the geophysical work, but also 9,000 meters of drilling.
9,000 meters of drilling, all with the aim to really get a mineral resource there. And you say you're targeting 21 million tons about?
Well, we have 28 million tons in the bag. It's what we're targeting is to be defined. Okay. So we have multiple phases of drilling. So the first phase is to increase confidence levels in what we've got. So that 28 million tons becomes more valuable. The second phase is about increasing the volumes of that. So then we go beyond the 28 up to, I'm not going to name a number, but add a zero to that at some point, and you're into you're on the radar of the big boys. So that's the plan there. The third phase then is really budgeted there to fill any gaps in our knowledge that we still have after those first 2 phases. So a bit of belts and braces there.
Okay, and you say this is going to go on over the next 18 months. I wonder if we can think a little bit shorter term, perhaps towards the end of this year, what sort of news flow you'd hope to get out to market?
Well, straight off the bat, we'll have the electromagnetic surveys, the geophysical surveys undertaken really from August. That'll be a 3-month exercise, including some of the remodeling work. So there'll be some news flow coming through from that quite photogenic news flow. Of course, this is Finland. It's beautiful. It's birch trees and lots of photogenic. Our Finnish team wandering around, undertaking the surveys and of course some aerial surveys as well. We then look to be drilling into Q4. Okay. So into the winter, which is a good time to be drilling, particularly in the northern latitudes. My expectations we'll have some remodeling news, maybe an updated resource estimate at the beginning of Q1, if not before. We'll see how we get on. But that'll be a relatively short program. Like I said, it's 3 phases. So this will be a 3,000 meter drill program. Doesn't take too long. the remodeling takes can take a month or two. So that's where we'll see.
Okay. And the funds you've attributed there how long will they last you for? They take you through the 18 months or not quite?
They do. They take us through through the 18 months, so through the 3 phases.
Okay. Okay, excellent. And what's it like working on the ground in Finland there? Is it rugged terrain or you got fairly easy access?
No, it's very easy access. It's the terrain is relatively flat. It's they had a glacier running over it for many millions of years.
Okay.
It's granite flat, little boggy areas here that you can navigate around. But the great thing about drilling in the winter is you're not restrained by soft ground. You can go where you need to. One of the most important things for us, technically from a geological perspective, an exploration program, it's all great, but if you don't have the social license to operate, then you're not going to get very far, or not as quickly as you want to. So the great thing about both these project areas, so Finland and Norway, is that we have this strong support of local communities and the municipalities in getting this work done.
Okay, well, that's good to hear. You did mention Norway there. We haven't spoken about this project yet, and I understand there's a free carry on this project, so there's no sort of cost you've attributed there to spend on this project. But first of all, just tell me a little bit about this project and what it's all about.
So this is the Rana Project, just south of Narvik. Some people may have heard of Narvik. Narvik is a large port, ice-free all year round. It's one of the major ports of Norway. It ships out iron ore from the LKAB mines globally. So we're just south of that. The Rana Project is, again, it's a nickel sulfide project, so nickel, cobalt, copper, etc. And it has been regarded as one of the world's most significant nickel regions or nickel deposits. It's up there in the top 10. It's relatively underexplored. However, there is an existing mine within our tenement area, the Bruven mine. It used to be run by Outokumpu, closed many years ago during a previous downturn in the 2000s. The mine still exists. It's there. It's underground. It's flooded. Needs refurbishments, etc. That's something for the future. But for now, we're looking to increase again. Talk about increased confidence levels in understanding of exactly what we have under the ground there, and to find the volumes as well. So this is quite an early stage project compared to our Finnish assets, but it has huge potential. So it is regarded as potentially an analogy to Voisey's Bay, and Voisey's Bay is one of the world's largest nickel mines in Canada, owned by Vale. And this is potentially similar volumes, similar mineralogy, similar geology. So really exciting. And it's great to have King's Roads come in and pick up the baton and fund this. Of course, they're buying into the asset, into the company, up to 85% over the next few years. And they're already on the ground operating, which is great from a news flow perspective. The drilling's underway. The electromagnetic and other geophys work is underway as well at the moment. So we're expecting assays and results sometime soon. I don't know more than that, but very exciting to see that developing.
Okay, so is it a joint venture you've got, or is it an earn-in with King's Roads over 3 years?
It's an earn-in up to 85% for them, and they're the operator. Okay. So we have some oversight, but this is coming out of their pockets, and they're doing the work, and they're doing a great job. Okay. And have a great track record as well. So very exciting. So
from your point of view, you almost just let them carry on, and any upside is automatically coming back to you effectively.
Correct.
Okay. And Norway, what's that like to do business in? Because many people will be familiar with, of course, how rich Norway is in natural resources and how the government manages to keep control of it and give a lot of money back to the population. I mean, is there a lot of sort of grants or a lot of government support available for mining projects in Norway?
There's a lot of goodwill, particularly in this region. So that sovereign wealth fund was built upon oil. And gas, and as we all know, that's been diminishing in the North Sea. So they're looking for the next thing in the region. What's going to sustain the local towns and cities? And really, it's apart from agriculture, etc. It's mining, and that sentiment's been evidenced through the great working relationship we've had with the municipality. We've already had discussions with them. In fact, they approached us around our needs going forward in terms of where their city limits should be defined or town limits should be defined, etc. So there's a great working relationship there on the ground, a lot of goodwill.
Good, that's good to hear. And are you perhaps looking for other opportunities in Scandinavia, or not at the moment, or Europe as a wider geographical area?
We definitely are, but at the right time. We're fresh out of the blocks. Mm-hmm. While King's Rose are at the proving ourselves collectively as a partnership on the ground in Norway. We've got some work to do in Finland. We need to focus on that, make progress there, and then we'll look to increase the portfolio. Okay. Ultimately, that's where we want to go. We want to increase the portfolio. Again, it's identifying and developing those mineral assets that support the green transition.
Okay. So really, you're looking, to focus on Finland there, to do the exploration, get plenty of news out to market, get some of those surveys out, get the drilling started, and get a mineral resource over the next 18 months. If I was to just finish off by asking you, what's the real end vision, the goal? You, of course, going back to your strapline there, giving battery metals to in Europe for Europe. Is that really what you'd like to get to? Would you like to get to producing the raw materials that then people can buy or companies can buy to effectively make these essential commodities for the green transition?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a mining engineer. I've run exploration projects, and I've also run projects, built mines, and run mines. So I'm inclined to say yes, that's what we want to do. The reality is, all options are open. If for example, Talvivara next door, they might make an offer we can't refuse in terms of an offtake agreement. So or an acquisition for that asset. There's that, and that would be the right home for that asset. I think really ultimately, if they made the right offer for us and our shareholders, and they took that on, they've got the footprint, the investments, the infrastructure ready to make best use of that. So horses for courses. We'll see how each of these assets develops and go from there. In Norway, similarly to the situation in Finland, when we have potential customers next door, we have the similar situation in Norway as well. We have battery metals plants being built now in the Narvik region. So again, potentially natural offtake partners there.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for your time today, Jonathan Owen, the CEO of Metals One, listed today or IPO today on the London Stock Exchange. I wish you good luck with everything and look forward to following the story and some of those nice pictures you say will be coming our way and catching up on various bits of news flow as and when appropriate. But thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stockboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.